Liam, I was wondering, just from an emotional standpoint, did you read the books?
No.
Were you aware, before you read the script, of the death of Shireen?
No. When I got the scripts the first time, you would have heard the clang of my jaw hitting the ground when I read it, and after I read it, that relationship is already there because we'd already filmed it, and to have her kind of removed from me, that relationship with Shireen was very easy. She's an absolutely gorgeous human being and a beautiful actress, and these guys keep taking the people I like working with away from me, which makes it difficult. But that was pretty tricky. Actually, I must tell you, there is a little story. The stag that I got. My daughter is in the audience here, by the way. Say hello to my daughter, please. So I liberated the stag, and my daughter has a wall of awesome at home. And I said, you need that after we finished filming. It hadn't been broadcast. And I said, you need to have that in your hand when we're watching the show. We all sit on the couch and watch it. What I didn't figure on, because I wasn't there for Shireen's demise, when the episode came on, I said, you need to have that again. And she'll tell you this, she had it in her hand. I hadn't seen it, and we sat down to watch it. And all of a sudden, my daughter was in a heap on the sofa as she watched my surrogate daughter, Shireen, getting burned to death while she held the stag that I had stolen from. And I felt like the worst dad in the world. It was appalling. Awful thing to do. So that's their fault, by the way.
Well, there's probably not a more lovable character in the show than Samuel Tarly. I realized when he sees the library that he smiles, and you realize that nobody in this show ever smiles, except for maybe Cersei. But I don't know if that's a smile as much as it's like an involuntary muscle response to something evil that pleases her. But there's a certain sweetness about Samuel and the way that John plays him.
Not John. Samuel, yes. John, no.
And I think we can assume that David and Dan and the world of Game of Thrones hates sweetness, and that eventually you will be executed in some way. So I'm wondering if you could choose the way you will die. Now is your opportunity, and I think I'd like to hear it, and I'm sure they would as well.
How wonderful would it be, or kind of how the poetic justice of Sam has always been told that books are folly and they're to be dismissed, and nobody with any real common sense ever deals with books. He said, no, actually no. People who read books can do good in the world, they can do good for greater good. Yeah, see, right? He's never been around this many books before. He's climbing up the bookshelf to get a particularly, artistic, but book from the top shelf. Gets all the way up there, doesn't, severely underestimates his own weight, tipples backwards off the bookshelf and pulls all of those books down from the top of it. John, Miguel, you could direct this bit, right? We saw your work with John under the bodies in Battle of the Bastards. Imagine Sam trying to fight his way out of all the books that he's loved his whole life. And now, if he hadn't got what he wanted, he'd still be alive. It wasn't battle that killed him, it was books that killed him.
Oh my God! That seems like a minute.
The show writes itself.
Little knowledge is a dangerous thing.
So female empowerment, obviously a huge aspect of season 6, but really, I believe, the series itself. And I think that no character personifies that more than Natalie Emmanuel's character, Miss Sandai. Miss Sandai. Everybody got a different pronunciation for that, I noticed. Miss Sandai. Yes, Cersei and Dany, Brienne, Yara Greyjoy are women of strength, but so much of that comes from violence, or the threat thereof, whereas Miss Sandai, a former slave who speaks 19 languages, offers something else. Compassion, intelligence, keen insight into the human condition, and in some ways, to me, it's the most impressive trajectory of anybody on the series. Can you speak a little bit to Missandei's role in the future of the Seven Kingdoms, as you see it?
It's hard to know what the future brings for her, but I think that she genuinely believes in Daenerys and her claim, and Daenerys has saved her life and liberated her and acknowledged her brilliance, because it's something that she also has. You know, these two women that sort of respect and lift each other up, and it's a really sweet friendship and I guess working relationship as well. So I kind of hope that Missandei continues to support Daenerys and they sort of continue to be this sort of girl power couple. So.